Welcome to the Emerald Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Doyle, and on this podcast I speak to different Irish athletes about their highs, their lows, biggest battles, biggest successes, and why they fell in love with their sport.
In this episode I chat to Cork boxer Christina Desmond. We chat about getting into boxing, sporting community, differences between professional and amateur boxing, the up and downs of boxing, and so much more. Next up, Christina Desmond.
Christina, how are you? You're very welcome to the podcast.
Thanks very much. Thank you for having me.
How are you enjoying the weather?
Yes, I am enjoying the weather. It's great. I love training in hot weather, so it's been great the last couple of weeks.
Is training going well this weather, or is it any different than usual, or just how's it going for you?
Good, yeah. So my last fight was there at the end of May, and I fought in Spain, so it was very hot. It was actually hot the week before I went there as well, so it was great for cutting weight. And since then, I've just been tipping away with training. I haven't been going flat to the mat. I've had a few downtime weeks, which were great, but I'm back in now and I'm training properly since last week. Full-time training. So I hoping to be out again in October, so it's all steam ahead now for October, and it's great. I've got my few days and my few weeks off, as in I could do a lot more than what I would be able to do in a training camp. So I spend time with my friends, spend time with my family, so now I'm recharged and re-energised and ready for road again.
Unreal, yeah, because I always hear as well just how ferocious the boxing training is. The best training you can do to get yourself, fit and, keep yourself right for those that are wanting to as well. Just what would a typical training session or a typical day look? Would it be ever changing, or is there like a typical setup you'd have maybe for yourself?
It's different each week. I'm slightly different as I'm still working full time. So I'm a guard here in Waterford. So it is slightly different for me because obviously I'm working shift work and each week is changing. So day to day, I would typically train twice a day. And then I would take 2 days off or 1 day off in the week. It just depends on how intense the week is, and it depends what I'm doing. So I typically just do 3 to 4 gym sessions a week, and then I would do 3 to 4 boxing sessions a week, and then the rest would be just running and conditioning. So it's very busy, but I'm enjoying it, to be fair, and I'm very happy back training. Now, especially the last couple of weeks, I was enjoying the downtime, but I'm happy to be back now, just getting back into the rhythm of things and into the normality of things again.
Yeah, absolutely. And just by the amount you said there as well, I'd say there's a lot of routine maybe involved as well. So even though you enjoy the downtime, you're just so used to that routine, I'd say you're just wanting really to get back into it.
Yeah, I love routine and I love having a date. When I know a date for a fight or a time for a fight, that's when I lock in, and I didn't have that with the last couple of weeks. But again, it's good to give the body and the time, yourself a break. And I crave routine. I love routine, and I go week to week between work and training. So I enjoy routine. It's great also having the downtime, as I said, but routine is the way to go.
Yeah, and with how intense boxing trainings would be, being a full-time guard as well, Christina, are you not tired with it all? Because it just seems like so much going as well.
It's very busy, yeah. It has been very busy. I'm lucky I have a very understanding partner, family and friends who understand that I may not be around for a long time at times, but I am very focused on what I do, and it's tight between, and my colleagues are very good as well. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to do it without some of them. I spread my time evenly enough between both, and I don't have much time to do much else other than sleep and rest, which is the most important part of all of it. So it is very difficult, but hopefully down the line I might be able to take the opportunity to go full-time training. But for now I'm just not in that I'm not at that stage yet. But hopefully down the line I will be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something I actually say to a lot of female guests as well, because I think it's very important to get the message across, Christine, in terms of you're doing so much. So obviously, as you said, sleep, recovery and maybe fueling the body is really important. Would you be, I suppose, conscious of getting enough, nutrition on board, like kind of to keep you fresh each time you go into a session, let's say?
100%. There's times there where, I would pick going to bed over going to a training session because sometimes that's what the body needs. Nutrition is key. Obviously, it's a weight managed sport. So, I don't have to be on weight all the time, but coming into competition, that is very important. If you don't fuel yourself right, you will not be able to train properly. You will not be able to put out what you are trying to, the energy that you're trying to put out. So, nutrition is very important. And I was tipping away in training, obviously, but I had a few days of eating what I liked there. And you know what? You'd feel it, like you would really feel it. So, now when I'm back in training, it's getting back into routine with the food, back into routine with the training. But, when you have everything working and it's working together, it does work, and there are benefits to it, but hard to get back into it now.
Yeah, no, I'd say that, and it's nice to give your body, or mentally, just a break to kind of go out and eat and enjoy it too. But once you've done it before, Christine, I'd say once you get, as you say, get back into your routine, it'll just be like the same old all over again.
Yeah, absolutely, and out from tournament, like you can have one or two treats and that throughout the weeks and stuff, but when you're in training, you don't really have time for that downtime, so it's great. And I love when I am in routine and it's all working together, because one doesn't work without the other, so it's great. Yeah. And it's basic, it's basic training, it's basic nutrition. There's nothing fancy about it. Like, it's just the norm. Like, I don't do anything extreme or anything like that. I eat healthy enough anyway, so once I just monitor it and don't go overboard, then that's all you need.
Yeah, and it's funny too with people. I feel sometimes people are looking for this groundbreaking new food they haven't heard about, or exercise to do that's going to like change everything for them. But really, it's just kind of, I would say, just repetition for yourself of eating the same things over and over that you need for your body, and then doing the exercises that you need as well. There's no like magic exercise or magic food that's just going to help you accomplish everything you need.
No, a lot have tried everything, and they've tried to get the secrets, but in my opinion, it's the basics, and you don't need anything fancy. You don't need a fancy gym, you don't need a fancy training gear. You just need the basics. Most of my gear is flipping torn, and that's the way I like it, that they're my training gear, and that you don't need anything fancy or flashy. Like, you just need the basics, and that's what I work off. And it's just trying to break barriers and prove that I'm able to do it. And I've done it so far now with a full-time job, and down the line I might get the opportunity to do it full-time. So.
Yeah, no, which would be fantastic as well. And look, I'm sure keep working away, and look, it will happen as well. And Christina, I just want to take you back as well, just to when you were growing up. I do believe that you were a lover of many sports, but how did you really get into boxing, I suppose?
I played Gaelic football with my local club. I come from a small little farming background down in West Cork. I used to play Gaelic football with Kilmartra J, and that was a mainly male club. So when I turned 14, I had to move to Navalbon Club, which is Ballyvourney J. And that's where the women team, that was my women's team. So I played with them until 16 or 17, but I was picking up too many injuries playing Gaelic football, so I gave it up for the boxing. So I kind of got the ultimatum from there that it was either box internationally for my country or play at county level at GA. I had gotten that far. I was playing with the underage Cork team, and as I said, the injuries were getting too prevalent, so I had to take a step back from that. And it was two different fitnesses, obviously. They were totally different sports. My twin brother started boxing with the local club Macroom. My dad's first cousin ran that boxing club, and he approached my brother and my dad to see would my brother join. My brother was 6'3" Michael, and he started, and I went in to look at it, and I fell in love. I loved the training. I loved the aspect that it was all males, and I wanted to prove that I could do the same. At the time, Katie Taylor wasn't really a big thing at the time, so I didn't really know that women did it or not. There was two females in the club that boxed, and they had won a few titles, but they were a bit older than me, so they were minding me. I was a bit precious, so they weren't letting me box, and I Irish danced at the time. and I played a few musical instruments and stuff. So my time was busy all the time, and my mother gave me the ultimatum of at that stage, it's all ultimatums. She thought I'd pick dancing over boxing. She said it was either one or the other because we were too busy. Between all of us, there's 4 of us at home. So my younger and older sister were doing stuff as well. So I decided on the boxing, and I have no regrets that I chose the boxing. I do wish I'd kept on the dancing, but no, it was a great decision to make, and I feel I've done a few things that many others will never do either in the sport. So I'm happy with my decision at that. So that's how I began. I won my first Irish title when I was 12, turning 13 around the same weekend, and my brother Michael won an Irish title as well. So we both won Irish titles the same day. We were the first pair of mixed twins to do that, and that was in the National Stadium in Dublin. And I suppose that's where it took off. Each year I won each title all the ways up, and I boxed internationally for Ireland at 16 at the European Championships in Kazesli in Hungary. And from that trip, that was my first ever time on an airplane. We milked cows at home, so we didn't travel abroad as children. So that was my first time on an airplane, and my dad and my brother both came out. And since then I've probably travelled with the Irish team for the bones of 12, 13 years. There was times where I was on a plane 16, 17 times a year between training camps and tournaments. I've travelled the world, and my family have been able to travel the world with me. They're very good and supportive, and we've created memories that we'll have forever. And it is a great way to have spent the last 20 years. I'm nearly boxing now, so I'm 30 now, so it's been a whirlwind. But it only seems like yesterday since I won that first Irish title.
Jesus, unbelievable. There's so much to unpack there, Christina, between going in and boxing with the boys and just kind of, getting into the boxing club. And, that could be uneasy sometimes when the girls are older and you're kind of the only one maybe at your age to go in and to keep going and keep practicing and prove yourself that, I want to be here, I'm good enough and I'm going to make it is unbelievable. And then to win like that, best of luck to anyone trying to break that record with the twins, winning 2 All-Irelands in the one day. Like that's incredible to be able to do that and say it.
Yeah, it is. I think there has been a male cup twins group have won titles, but I don't think there has been a male-female duo. So yeah, it's great. And he has had 5 Irish titles as well. Michael, my younger sister Rachel has a few Irish titles. My older sister, then, if she's played any sport, she'd be world champion at it, but didn't take up on any of it. So there is sportiness in the family, and it's been great, and it's been a great distraction for us as a family. We lost our mum in 2013, so I was only 17. I was in the middle of travelling abroad, in the middle of starting my boxing career internationally, and it was a great distraction for us as a family. It has been good times.
Yeah, no, and I could just imagine the car when you're really younger as well, just between the sports you mentioned. It's like the car is on the go constantly, just going from one place to another, whether you said it was the dancing, it was the boxing, the Gaelic football, just always on the go.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it was a small community. We had a road, our little road, we're all like farmers or hardworking people, and there was probably about 15 children on the road, and we were all around the same age, so we were all thrown into the back of the car and taken to all of these sports. The kids up the road boxed as well. The kids up the road played football, played hurling, played whatever else was going. Swimming, we had an open swimming pool in our local area. It's a small little Gaeltacht area. So it was a joint effort between all the parents, and we were never seen stuck or never wanting anything between all of them. And we were all rare together, which is great. And we mightn't see each other too often now because we're scattered all over the world. But Christmases and celebrations are always a good time when we all come back together. But I must say it was a joint effort between neighbours and family, and and of course my mother, who would have driven us around before she passed away, and my father would have worked full time then, so he wasn't too much involved then, but had to take up and cut the slack then. He did a lot of it then after that. So you know what, it was great. We've great memories growing up, and I'm lucky enough that I could travel and take mine internationally. And now, since I've turned professional, each one of my neighbours are the first at each fight, and they're travelling the country and the world now too as well. So it's great to be able to do that.
Absolutely unreal. And even that move then, Christina, from going from amateur to professional, how did you find that? Did you notice a jump within fighting as well, or within boxing straight away, or did it seem like you're just doing the same things you usually would, or was there any big difference for you, did you find?
Yeah, it was totally different. I had been on the high performance unit with the Irish international team for 12, 13 years. I was gone out of boxing. I didn't want to box anymore. I had a negative opinion of it, and I just didn't want to do it. And it was my trainer, Tom Power, approached me and said, do you want to go professional? He's wanted me to go professional with a few years now. He said my style would be a lot more suited for that. And then another coach with him, Kevin Crowley, he manages professional boxers. He said that he'd manage me, and also I obviously wasn't going to go with anyone else other than them when they did approach me. And it took me a few months to come around to the idea. I started back training. I put on a lot of weight. I was 10 kilos up on any fighting weight or anything close to it. So I needed to cut that first, and then I needed to settle in and learn a few different things for the professional ranks. It is slightly different. It's in my opinion a different sport completely, to be fair. In the amateurs you're looking for points, in the professional you're looking for a knockout. I found that a little bit difficult at the start. I liked working long, and sometimes you have to mix it up in the professional, so there was a lot of things to learn. I am not, after learning it all over the last year, I have a lot to learn as well, and I'm kind of coming around to the idea of it now, but I love the 2-minute rounds, and I feel I get better as the fight goes on. So it has been a different changeover, but I'm back in love with the sport, and I am back in love with being fit and healthy, and doing something for myself. With the international team, it was for the Irish team and the Irish setup. Now the professional boxing is for me, and as the time goes on, I'm looking at different people and different girls, and girls that I've boxed in the past and all, and they're doing so well, and I think that I can in a while be up at the same ranks as them, and hopefully I'll get the recognition for that.
Absolutely, and it's great for you to get that kind of renewed motivation, or one for it too, that you're enjoying it so much again, Christina. I think that's unreal. And you were just saying there about the rounds and kind of that you did find it different. Is there more rounds in the professional than the amateur, or is there? What way does that work?
Yeah, so the amateur was 3 3-minute rounds, 3 of them. Yeah, 3-minute rounds, sorry. And then the professional is, it depends on the fight, but you can have, it's all 2-minute rounds. There's a few women now doing 3 minutes, but all 2-minute rounds for us. And I started with 4 rounds, 6, and I've gone up to 6 rounds and 8 rounds. And the 10 rounds is the most you can do then. So the likes of Katie Taylor now, for the next fight, it's a title fight, so it has to be 10 rounds, and it's all 2-minute rounds. So I kind of settle in the first and second round, and then I get going after that. So I absolutely love that aspect of it. I found very strange the amateur gloves are 14 ounce plus. The amateur ones are 14 ounce plus, and the professional gloves are 8 ounce. So they're a lot smaller,
wow.
There's a lot less padding, and then you don't have a head guard in professional, you do have a head guard in amateur. So that was a big shock as well. My first fight, I remember hitting the girl. She was a Polish girl, and she'd 1 win and no loss, and she was at the same level as me. And I remember hitting her with my 8 ounce gloves, and even having them on your hands, they feel smaller. You feel like you've nothing on. And I remember her face, and I just, I kind of got a shock, because I had never hit anyone with. I had practiced with the 8 ounce gloves on the pads, but I'd never practiced hitting anyone with the 8 ounce gloves. So it was a shock. There's a it's a total different experience in professional rather than amateur. I'm yet to get a proper slap with the 8-ounce glove, so that'll be a shock as well. But it's all learning experience, and well, maybe I have, but when the adrenaline's rushing, you don't really feel it. So yeah, no, it's I've welcomed the change and I absolutely love it. Like personally, I actually don't like watching boxing. It cracks them up here at home because I've met the top professionals and amateurs in the world, and I've trained alongside them and I'm friends with most of them, and when I see any Saturday night on television, I know most of every card and I've no interest in watching it. Doesn't bother me. So yeah, it's strange that I don't like the sport. It is a bit gruesome and it's political and it can sometimes be all over the place and a little bit unfair, but yeah, I absolutely love being able to say that I'm a professional boxer, and I don't regret 1 second turning over.
Yeah, unreal. And you really struck me there, Christina, when you said that. I thought the ounces for the boxing gloves would have been the other way around. I can't. Is there any particular reason for that you know of, or?
No, just the professional is a bit more gruesome. They want knockouts and they want blood. So yeah, I found that hard at the start, but I think I'm coming around to it now. I would be one to go in and say sorry when I hit someone, and because I would be more power and strength rather than any technical abilities. I don't have much of them, but so I used to be saying sorry for hitting people and hurting people, but I had to stop doing that after a while because the 8-ounce gloves, you don't have to put much force in to hurt anyone. So but that's just what we signed up for.
Yeah, absolutely. And even there, you said, I was just thinking straight away with the more rounds on top of that. Then if you go all out, I'd say in the first and second round, you could be wrecked or tired very easy going into the more rounds then, and you'd probably be caught out. Would that be fair to say?
100%. That's my first fight. I stopped the girl in the second round. I probably could have stopped her in the first if I put the pressure on, but I actually had that in the back of my head because I've seen many people go out in their professional debut and panic and go for it, and then they're flat throughout the round, and that's when the likes of them people can step it up. And you could get beat handy. So I kind of panicked. I was nervous and I said, no, sit back and pick your shots now. And I got her in the second round. But yeah, a lot do that. A lot see an opening. But a lot of it is about breaking down your opponent and all that, and over the rounds. And yeah, you might not look like you're well over in the first, second and third round when you're tipping away and you're just breaking ground and you're trying a few shots out and stuff like that, but you do most of your work then at the end, towards the end of the round then. So once you've the hard work done throughout the first couple of rounds, it's easier then at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say that you'd have to manage it or balance it in a certain way that you'd be there if it went to more rounds. And as you say though as well, they want knockouts, so you kind of have to be prepared for nearly any sort of angle or aspect of it too.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be able to judge when the opponent is not feeling it or they're not happy. So yeah, it is. It's we don't really go in with much plans. I've been lucky enough that Tom Power has trained with me since I was 16. He knows boxing very well, and he's trained very good professional and amateurs down through the years. And he's from down around home, so I'm blessed, to have such support around me. And we kind of. I let a lot to him to look at my opponents. I don't like looking at my opponents or anything like that. And yeah, he would have a slight plan going in, but anything's possible. We went in with a girl once, and all her videos had her coming forward, and she was the aggressor. And after the first minute or two, she was the one going back, and you could have prepared all day long for her coming forward, and then once you go in and she's going backwards, it's a totally different fight. So every fight is different and every round is different, so you have to take it as it comes. And I'm really enjoying it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And even I would say, because as much as you're prepared, you're only human too, and you are coming into a ring where you're going to box each other. I'm sure the emotions can come from confident, excited to nervous. Like I'd say, it's very hard. You can't predict your emotion before the fight takes place, I would say.
Absolutely not. It's a crazy feeling. I just pray before a fight to get, I pray and I ask my mother just to get me out of the ring safely and soundly. I don't care about the win or the loss. It is at the end of the day a boxing ring. it doesn't matter the style or the the rank of your opponent. One punch can knock you out or do a lot of damage, and you have to be ready for that at all stages, and you can get caught, and you could be the lucky girl to get that shot off, but it could be you receiving that shot as well, and that's just you have to be prepared for that. And at the end of the day, it's boxing, and boxing people are the only people that can understand that, really. The average onlooker or the average supporter don't see that at all. So it's a sport that can change in seconds, and it's a tough one, but it's great, and there's good adrenaline. But I hate going in. The nerves are good, but I want to give up each time before I go in. But once I go into that ring and once I have the preparation done and the bell goes, I don't have a fear in my ability. I'm happy that I can do and get in with anyone in the world.
Unbelievable. And once you have that feeling, regardless of how you feel before it, once you're in the zone then and focused, and the bell rings, you have the ability to do what you need to do. And I suppose that's the most important feeling of all, I would say, Christina. And who would you say so far would be your hardest boxer? Would anyone come to mind where you thought they were tough, or that was a good fight?
I've fought a few very tough girls. They took a bit of punishment. I suppose I have not been tested yet, and no disrespect to my opponents. There was one girl in Cork that I fought from Croatia, Joanna, and she was relentless. She just kept on going, and there was no finishing her. And they're the types of girls that you need to go through the rounds with, and you need to get used to. And she had been in with the top opponents, and she may have lost to them, but she'd been in with them and she'd gone the full way with them. So I knew she wasn't going to be a pushover or a walkover, and I suppose she's been my toughest opponent so far. Like amateur, I suppose I had fought world and European champions, and I've won a fair amount of medals myself at the higher levels, and I won a few multinations and that. So I'd been lucky enough that I had that experience going in. It's very hard to compare both, I know, but I am looking forward to a challenge in the next couple of fights.
Yeah, very good. And it's just, and I would say as well, because I had Tommy Hyde, another great Cork man, on the podcast recently as well, and he just spoke about how the amateur to professional, it's not like a guarantee that you will get harder fights when you go to professional. Just there's some great amateur boxers there as well, and as you kind of say as well, Christina, it's quite so different that you're in for something completely different, where it can be really tough in that fight also as well.
Yeah, like you're going through the trenches in the professional ranks, and a lot is just you're going full tilt. Amateur is a lot more technical, a lot more thought out, and there's tactics and there's this and there's that. Not saying that it's not in the professional, but when you're under pressure in the professional ranks, you have to go all out, and it doesn't matter what or how you hit them, you just have to hit them. And if you do that in amateur, it just doesn't work out, So it is all be all the same sport as in boxing, but there's totally different backgrounds and totally different methods and madness to it. So I have welcomed the change, and I do feel that I have the strength to carry me through the professional ranks a lot more than what the amateur ranks would have been.
Yeah, so no, it's great you made that move then, and obviously you feel really comfortable with it then, so it's definitely the right move for you, Christine, as well, which is great. Another thing that I'm always, because I haven't boxed myself, but I do enjoy watching it. But one thing that always gets me is there always seems to be something with judges and point scores and all of that. I just kind of think, why can't it be clear cut? If somebody hits a certain spot, it's a certain point and whatever like that. It just seems that there's always a bit of controversy or something to talk about when there shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I suppose looking at it like in comparison to other sports, like if you score a goal or a point, it's a goal or a point. There's no one judging on how a lad solos the ball or anything like that out the field or anything like that. So in the boxing, it has changed over time. Like even when I started first, there was points. You click the button every time that somebody scored a point. or scored a shot, if their head went back or whatever, or to the body, that was the way. And then it changed to kind of aggression in the amateurs. The person that was on the front foot going forward, but then the person on the back foot could be scoring the more cleaner shots and the better shots. So then it's down to personal opinion. And when you put down things to personal opinion, there, it's a small world, it's a small country.
Yeah.
And then you have a slight bit of, that's Johnny's boxer, that's Mikey's boxer, and we have to go with them. So when it comes into personal opinion, it's not good. And there has been huge controversy over the years in the boxing. There's a little bit of it in the professional ranks, but the professional ranks are a lot more clean cut. The counts are worth 10-8. That there's a bit more of a difference. I do feel they're trying to bring amateur and professional a bit more alike. So that's why they're going the 10-9 scoring method, and bringing out the head guard and all of that, so that it's a bit easier transitioning from one to the other. But it is very controversial. Some of the fights, I've been involved in fights that have been controversial and that I should have won, and it is fairly disappointing. I wouldn't be one to say I'd be robbed at any stage, because obviously it's not my opponent's fault at any stage if they win or lose. And I don't think I've ever robbed somebody of a fight. I wouldn't be happy if I did do that, but it's the way the sport is, and you just have to get on with it. It's either be involved or not be involved, and you just have to hope for the best the next time. But obviously, that when it is amateur and you're at the level that I was at and the level that the rest of the Irish boxers are at, it could be the difference between funding, no funding, 20 grand extra worth of a funding for the year. So it's just crazy. And there's one fight in particular that I remember after the 2016 Olympics where Michael Conlan had been robbed, and I fought a French girl. She's now a professional, and I believed I actually had picked up an injury in the fight, and I believed I'd beat her hands down, and I didn't get the decision, and my manager and trainer and all that kind of kicked up a fuss. But sure, what could you do? And at the end of the day, I had a medal won, but it was going for the European title. It was going to be against Lauren Price. No, actually, Lauren Price had been beaten that actually as well. It was another English girl that had won. So that was for a European title fight that I got kind of round out of. But at the end of the day, that's what the judges around the corner or around the ring seen, and that's how it was, and you just have to get on with it, and you can't overturn that decision. So you just get on with it. So that was the amateur game, and I haven't seen it yet in my side of things in the professional ranks, but sometimes you just can't leave it up to the decision of the judges.
Yeah, it's mad as well, because I totally get what you're saying in terms of you can't change it, you just have to get on with it. But as you say, though, there's a real value to every win in terms of funding your next fight, whether it's a medal or getting to a final. It's definitely a very hard pill to swallow, even though you have to move on. And I know from just watching, there's sometimes, I know I'm not a boxer myself, but then you hear the score or someone says it, and I'm thinking, I can't be this out of touch, with what's going on, even though I'm not a boxer myself.
Yeah.
But
and there's a bit of luck as well. There is definitely a bit of luck. It's in the amateur, it's a bit of luck of the draw. The draw I got a few times round was I met the eventual winner in the quarterfinal. So for a medal bout, I lost every time on a split decision. There was a year there where I lost 3 huge tournaments to the eventual winner on split decisions, and that's just if I got the other side of the draw, I might have been in a bit of more luck in the final and won on a split decision. So that's just how it goes, and sometimes a bit of turn for your side of things is good, and you need a bit of luck with you, and that goes with it. That has to be said.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just be hoping, I know sport is cruel, it doesn't work out like this, but you'd be hoping that if you had 1 or 2 close calls against you, that in the future they will come with you. But sport is cruel. It just, unfortunately, just doesn't always work like that, even though it should,
100%, yeah. And that's what you have to be the best sports person that you can be, and you have to just move on with it. And we could all moan and complain about it, but it's not going to change anything. And we all know that sports person that puts their career one loss down that their whole career was ruined or whatever. So that won't be me anyway. And in my opinion, everything happens for a reason, and you work off that, and you build off that loss, or win. Everything's an experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you can use it to better yourself going forward, regardless of it.
100%.
Absolutely. Um, I wanted to also say to you as well, Christina, just any young girls that might be listening, in terms of tips for young girls that want to get involved in boxing or even get involved in sport. Is there anything that you would suggest or any advice you'd give to them, I suppose?
That's what I'd like to get out of my career. Is I'd like to be able to influence just one or two girls or boys, that just to explain to them and to hone it home that you could join any sport that you like. It doesn't matter if it's not a local sport or not a normal sport. Just join and see how it is. Boxing has brought me, and sport in general has brought me around the world. It's gotten me college degrees, scholarships, and it has now got me into the guards. And I don't feel like I would have had the confidence to go join the guards if I didn't have the boxing behind me, and the confidence boost that gave me throughout my whole life. So a lot of paths were made through boxing and through sport, and don't feel like you're not good enough to do it. Just join and give it a go, and you just don't know where it's going to lead to. I had no plan when I started boxing, and I felt like it's just been a roller coaster since, and I've met people around the world, and within my job, my career as a member of Gaeltacht, and within boxing, that I wouldn't have met without it. So it has given me opportunities that I wouldn't have ever expected or got if I didn't do it. I would say, if you are joined in sport as a girl, to keep it going through secondary school. It's kind of a taboo thing now. It's getting better. It 100% is getting better because of the new kind of look at the gymming that most women gym now. So it's the cool thing to do. But I would say for at my age it wasn't. So it was very strange for me. When I had muscles at 17, 18, up along my back and my shoulders, I absolutely hated it. Now I'm proud that I have them, I have had them since that age. So I would say for any young girl, just to keep it going. Once you join college and all that, sport it's not even just sport, even just any hobby. Playing music or drama or anything like that. When you join clubs in college, it's a lot easier to get on, and that's where you make your friends, and everyone has the same look at life when you join something that you're interested in. So 100% keep at it. The leaving cert isn't going to miserably be a fail if you keep on the sport. You need that time out for your own mental health in your head, to just the hour, even if it's every evening an hour. It's not going to drop you points in the leaving cert or whatever. So, because that is the big thing, 16, 17, there's a huge dropout, and it's sad really. And girls always say, I'll get back to it, but they never do. So if I could do that one thing, is just say, do it and try it and give it a go, and you just never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that I give out about sometimes, because there would have been a time where I felt female sports wouldn't have been shown on the television, and there's probably a way to go with that still. But I think the power of social media, to see the likes of Katie Taylor, but Kelly Harrington come through, yourself now, Christina, and more even female boxers. And then you have people in other sports, maybe on social media, sharing what they're doing, so they're actually seeing it now on social media all the time, where they're doing really good. That looks good. I could do that myself. What training could I do for that? Even with friends and stuff. It's brilliant that there's now that limelight on it, or spotlight on it, where, it's going to motivate young girls, or say it is an opportunity for me. It is a path that I can go down.
100%. I'm very lucky that I'm very good friends with Kelly Harrington. I'm good friends with Katie Taylor. I wouldn't have ever met them, and I wouldn't have ever known them, only through the television, which is great, because they are getting the recognition now. And every other sports person, down through the lines that I've met at awards and everything, it's been incredible to know these people. But it wasn't a thing on television when I was younger. Now it slowly but surely is getting into things like, the women's soccer team. They're doing very well at the moment. The women's rugby team, all of them have a big social media following on Instagram and TikTok and all that, and it's so good to see. It's fantastic to see, and they're selling themselves in a way that is going to hopefully influence the younger girls coming up through the lines and through following us up in our footsteps. So it's absolutely fantastic. And if each one of us could just influence one person, it would be huge. And imagine in 10 years' time what it's going to be like. I do think and I hope that women's sport will be the same as men's sport and it'll get the same recognition. But there's a lot of big companies working on it, and you can't take that from them either. It's been fantastic, the sponsorship and all that has gone out for women in comparison to the men and all. It's just so good to see.
It's brilliant, and I really like it. And what I like as well, Christina, is if a girl looks at maybe, let's say, Katie Taylor because she's so big, or even yourself, representing Ireland or being professional, it's the fact now that even people who are only starting off are kind of documenting themselves in social media, training and stuff, and those clubs are showing women getting involved. They can see it from a starting point all the way to the top to what you could be. And I think it's just a really nice path and viewpoint for them in terms of even going for a run and stuff like that. I think it's really the best side of social media for
And
women
it's
to
a
really kind of
community,
get
and
involved.
it's a great community to have, the sporting community. And I'm influenced myself by sports people that are still in their prime and gone past their prime. What they're doing even after sport to give back to sport and give back to their communities is fantastic. Like Kelly Harrington now is fighting for a pitch behind her house. That is a huge role in her community, and without her boxing background and without her after winning the medals, she wouldn't have even been looked at. So, she's fighting for the better and she's fighting for her community. And to be able to do that, isn't that just the best thing you can do, to give back to younger children? And she's doing a fantastic job at it. And, like the government and all that trying to take from these places, she wouldn't have been involved in boxing, or she wouldn't have been able to go back to boxing or any sport if she didn't have them facilities, albeit that they weren't great facilities, but they were there all the same. And it was a small community working together, trying to take people and kids off the streets, and to be able to give that and put that on her social media now was just huge. And it's great for all of us sports people to be able to take influence from each other as well, is fantastic. And the power of social media is so good, but it can do bad and good things. But we'll look at the good things for now.
Yeah, we'll look at the good things for now, is right. And just when you mentioned it there, Christine, as well, when you were growing up, I know you were very kind of tried your hands at loads of sports and you enjoyed it. Was there anybody you looked up to when you were growing up as a sports person and thought, they're my idol, or I'd like to do something similar to them?
So there 100% was. At the time when I was growing up, Cork senior lady football team and the Camogie team were on fire. They were winning Irish titles back to back, 4 and 5 times in a row. And the huge sports people for me in part of that team was Breach Corkery, Breach Stack, Rona Buckley, Rena Nabukla, a whole Valerie Mulcahy. There's a whole host of them, the whole lot of them. They were all huge influences on my life. Breach Crockery only lived over the road, and my family would have had a connection with her family, and to see her, and she was still so normal and absolutely mad. I was like, wow, like that girl plays on the television, for the small little bit that TG Cahir did cover, it was great to see him. And when I was turning 15, 16, 17, I was at awards with them girls, and that was a dream come true for me. And now, to know them girls and to have followed up through their whole life and their whole career, watching them play was fantastic. So them for me, that was the best for me. There is no other real proper sport in my area, only Gaelic football. So obviously they had to be the role models. I would say also that I'm, Kilmatch is my own club, and we have done very well. The men have done very well over the last couple of years. We reached an All-Ireland final in 2023 to 2024 season. My brother played a big role in that, my twin brother. So I'm his biggest fan. So I look up to him as well. And they're playing at a very amateur level, but they're playing at a good level. So there has been a few influential characters throughout my life, but teammates and all that, and some people have come from terrible backgrounds and have turned it all around. So it's been great, and then to to have everyone's hero, Kelly Harrington and Katie Taylor, it's not many that can say that they have roomed with them or been a teammate of theirs. So, it's been fantastic. And as I said, I wouldn't have got it without boxing. Although sometimes I do hate it. I wonder why I do it and how it takes up so much of my life. But anyway, it's worth it in the end.
Christina, I love the dynamic of not watching it, apologising afterwards, but going in the ring and obviously loving it to a degree as well. It's just so mixed. It's so funny, to be honest with you.
Yeah. If you ask any of my friends or my colleagues or anything, they just say no. We don't talk to Tina about boxing because she doesn't want to talk about it. It's when's the next fight? I don't know. I don't know. Just don't ask me. So it's there's a bit of a love-hate relationship going on with it, but it keeps me fit. It keeps me mentally and physically, going. And I missed it when I was away from it, and I'm happy I'm back.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I won't ask you your next fight or anything like that, and you might not have one for me now, but is there any goal in your head or something you'd like to achieve, or are you just happy to be back boxing and just, happy to keep it going?
If you asked me this time last year and I hadn't fought yet, I would have said, get me back boxing and I'll see how I get on. But now that I'm back and I've had a look at it and, I've looked at a few things and world champion, that's where I want to go and that's where I want to be. And I'll hopefully slowly but surely get there, but I'm in no rush at the moment. But that's everyone's goal, isn't it? Amateur levels, Olympic Games, I missed that by a few points. And professional is the world champion. So that's where I want to be.
And Christina, do you have to, is it the person you're up against and how good they are rated, or is it a certain amount of fights you have to do before you get a chance at that, or how does it work?
That's a good question. I don't know a lot about it myself. But I'm building my ranking now, so I'm building my fights so I can get down in the rankings, and then it's up to the world champion then to decide on who they fight or whatever it is. But or else you might get picked to, there's a title shot in 6 weeks, would you like it or whatever, so you have to be kind of ready at all times, and I'm hoping by this time next year I'll be in that running line. If all things go well, obviously it's my manager and trainer do a lot of it. I kind of just go with the flow and just tell me when I'm fighting. But it's the next fight out is hopefully the start of October. So I'm looking at 12 weeks out from that now. So my next couple of weeks is just focusing in on strength and building myself, and then there'll be a lot of sparring and a lot of prepping, and then I'm taking each fight at a time. And you never know what's going to happen. Like the amateurs, a bit of luck sometimes is what you need, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And would you always get at least 4, 8, 12 weeks preparation time for each fight? Would you be always kind of guaranteed that?
As I'm getting into the bigger fights now, yes, you would like that, but it doesn't always work out that way. I've had 5 fights since October, so doing the maths, I have not had that time between fights. I had 4 weeks between one fight, I had 6 weeks between another, but that don't matter, because you take 2 or 3 days of a downtime, you're back straight into training. That's the way I want it to be. I like it to be snappy, and when you're fit for one fight, you're ready for a next fight, so But when it comes to the bigger title shots and you've 10 rounds to prepare for, and you have a girl that and you know what their style is like, you train for their style then obviously, but for the past couple of fights it was grand just getting in and getting them done with, and building my record, and 5-0 in the space of 8 months is a good feat in my eyes, and you know what, world champion is the goal, but I can always say I was a professional boxer.
Absolutely, and that, you know what, you can always say, because there's a lot of people, I'd say, don't make the jump out of maybe fear, it's nerves, or maybe some don't want to do it, but the fact that you kind of took the jump, are doing so well now already with 5-0, you can say, look, I went for it, I did it, and I gave my best shot about it, no matter what happens, It's
not an easy jump. I would say to any boxer, if they are considering it, they have to have backing, you have to have sponsorship, it's the most important thing. I have very good local sponsors here, and without them I wouldn't be able to do it, because it is a business, and it is there is a business behind it. And yeah, I do the boxing, I do the training, but there's a lot more goes on behind the scenes, and you need to have good people behind you. I'm very, very lucky in the people that I have behind me. I have a small, tight-knit little team, and I'm very happy with that, but sometimes it can get ugly, and I would be, before you turn over, I would be thinking about who you're going to go with and who you trust, because it can get fairly ugly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, Christina, I wish you all the best of luck, and I really do hope you get to the World Championship. Whether that means you're going to be 10-0, 15-0, 20-0, I hope you can get it, and I hope you get that World Championship. I really do. And thanks very much for coming on the podcast. It was great to hear all about your journey, and you're really inspiring so many young girls to get involved in boxing and sport. So please do keep that up as well, and that message.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Emerald Athlete podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a review, and don't forget to check out our Instagram page, the Emerald Athlete Podcast.